if she gets out of laning stage decently, then Viper is the type of hero that only counters you laning stage, and then later on, you honestly don't care much about MSTA. So I think I like Quincy's chances here. It's pretty gutsy to pick a second pick TA, so you expect to get countered. Obviously, they used all their bans, though, to try and secure the game for her.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts on... Because typically it's been moved around a bit. Usually a mid hero though, but we're gonna see it position 1. Like, do you prefer it mid in general? Is there a reason? I mean, obviously they wanted the flexibility that they could get Quinn a hero as well.
Actually, when they first introduced Aghanims on TA, I started playing her safe lane quite a bit myself, and later on it caught on and more people started doing it in competitive scene and realized the value of it. I think I like it more mid, but that's just personal preference. I think it can function better on safe lane, current patch as well.
Yeah, and the Axe has not been purchased as much recently. I mean, TI was purchased like every single game, basically. But
it was nerfed.
Did they nerf something?
Yes.
Yeah, what did they do?
So they made it so you can't jump out of route anymore, which was previously very strong. And they added 0.5 seconds to it, the casting time, which sounds like not that much. But when you're talking about an ability that gets you out of jail, you know, like something that escapes from bad situations, that was a 50% increase in cast time. So. It's not quite as strong anymore. Still a good item in games where you want to slow down, but I don't think we're going to see it here.
Don't worry, we'll get back to TA every couple minutes to make sure you get your fix.
Yes, yes.
But there are some other heroes to work with. I mean, Quincy Crew versus EG. Let's just set the table here. Quincy Crew already secured themselves in the region for this DPC season, as they are undefeated in terms of series. But EG, if they lose this series, then that means Undying will be second place secured. But if they win, then there's going to be a tiebreaker between, I would assume it's just EG and Undying, since they will both have a 5-2 record overall.
Yeah, so
quite a bit on the line.
Really important series for EG. And to be said, though, even though Quincy have a clean record in terms of series, they did drop a single game to pretty much all the top dogs in the group. I mean, obviously, they themselves are the top dog, but they had 2-1 as the result against everyone at the top.
Yep, that is a good point. And I got to cast a lot of those games, and I think even if I would talk to Jack about this, he would admit that they haven't been on the best form. Like the previous, obviously it's still the first season of this roster being together, but I don't want to say they've been lucky, but definitely fortunate to come out undefeated with the series, because like you said, they've been dropping quite a few games. And then I mentioned in the previous cast with you that against Undying, it was just like this collapse from Undying, more so than it was Quincy Crew playing particularly amazing, although they have played very well. Obviously, you would not be undefeated at this point. So we'll see how this goes. And again, EG, the team that started out just playing horrifically, I think I can say that with great confidence. They lost a lot of games. Almost lost a game to Arkosh, for God's. That just shows you how much in the depths they were. But it feels like ever since they added MSS as this substitute for Nightfall, it made more sense for them, and it's just worked out a lot better. And they're looking a lot stronger now.
Oh, that was the turning point for them? I haven't followed the NA scene quite as closely, but I did see that they were struggling early on. But yeah, they've had a miraculous comeback in the league, though. I mean, now looking at 4-2 as their results, not bad.
Yeah, and as we see Ponlo getting stuck inside the ice shards a little bit, trying to get out of the arms of Crit with that tag team, but on the other side, Yawar just focusing on MSS and forces the Viper back here. I mean, they were winning a little bit after that troublesome start, and it makes sense. You know, Jerax took a long break, never really played position 5, so that's going to be a transition as well. And then Nightfall going from 1 to 3, it's just a lot of change. And then on top of that, and I've talked about this publicly, I'm not a huge fan of their roster composition because I don't even know who the captain is. Like, you can put somebody as a captain, but none of them are real big talkers other than Nightfall, who's not even with the team now.
Yeah.
Like previously you had Fly, which is very, like, the solidified, one of the best leaders of all time in Dota.
Yeah, Fly is very easy. Fly is very easy to play under because he has a very thought out plan for what you're gonna do, and he tells you the vision for what the game is gonna look like really well. And that's a talent that not all players possess. It's really hard to be one captain. But You could also just have a lot of good players who communicate on point for what they want to do. As long as the draft is fine, I think you don't have to have like a puppy or a fly to play well together.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to people talking like based on your position at the right time of the game. Is the Wraithfire Blast onto Milan in the top lane, but Kazu's going to be blocking things here. But like the game has changed so much. Like back in the day, you'd have the captain calling shots throughout the entire game. Now, most people seem to agree with the sentiment that the position one is kind of making the calls at a certain point. Like when you have enough items, like you should be the one making the call on when to go in and out.
Yes.
So it's all about like if they're able to, transition from one stage of the game to the next with the communication, which we would have no idea about because we don't listen to the comms.
It's the player who has the most ability to have big impact that has the easiest time making a lot of big calls. So in late game, you see +2 and +1 players. Oh, Wisp. Probably going to be fine.
Yeah, Milan continuing to get aggressed here by EG, but he is more than fine. Pops the spirits in tow as well, so...
I like the Wraith.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated with these conversations about like team compositions because I think a lot of people underrate like just certain aspects, like the mental side, which I think is starting to finally gain traction. Like just having a life. I mean, I think OG kind of demonstrated that the best in the last few years with having a life coach and all that stuff.
Dota is, I mean, to perform good at Dota, you need sort of everything to click for you. If we're talking like highest level, you need to find some form of balance in your life, and the balance should be pretty heavy into Dota, of course. But you still need the whole picture, right?
Yeah, for sure. So in the mid lane, Abed on the OD versus Quinn, playing the Ember Spirit, 27-10 to 26-5, so relatively even overall. As we're going to see first blood, looks like Ponlo is going to take the tumble as MSS gets credit for that in the bot lane.
Yeah, he dies, but he did die protecting his TA. She's not going to go down, taking the focus. But yeah, mid lane looking fairly even so far. All the CS at the top is fairly close. A lot of
and he's actually maxing Astral. I can't remember the last time I've seen this on OD. Boy, oh boy.
We've seen so many Rubik's versus OD and stuff, reasons for people not to do it. But yeah, it's going to be the meme hammer.
And he's going to get the Astral off, so has a decent level advantage, actually. I guess I missed that, but the CS is relatively close, but a lot of denies here. As Crit comes in from the tree line. Nice Ice Shards, keeping Quinn in place with the help of Jerax as well. So very value kill for EG in the mid lane.
Such a good rotation.
But that opens up top lane. Arteezy left alone, but he's going to be in the cover of his tier 1 tower. But in the meantime, Yawar going down to MSS in the bot lane. So this lane is turning into a disaster for Quincy crew.
MSS fighting against 2 people alone, and he looks like he can just bring down Disruptor here. Trying to juke. Very nice jukes, honestly. What? Dude, that was beautiful.
Fine? He doesn't have boots, but yeah, they have absolutely no idea he's here.
Wow.
For the win.
That was a sick juke by Ponlo, though. That was Houdini right there.
They're probably going to be very excited to look. Oh my. Quinn dies again in mid lane, and that's after he's TP'd. I don't even think he has a remnant up here. Quincy crew are they losing every lane? I don't know how the top lane is going right now, but at the very least, bottom and mid are firmly in EG's grasp.
Yeah, the second kill there, that's really painful. Something talked about a lot in high level is, dying without a way to get back to the lane. He doesn't have TP, he doesn't have a remnant from what I can see, so yeah, he's gonna have to walk back, the walk of shame.
Oh boy, Nightmare onto Yawar. We'll see how many rotations come out from Quincy crew as MSS is just gonna find Ponlo, who's still up there, by the way, and we'll get taken out in quick succession, but at the very least, Yawar lives. Top lane, Arteezy. I mean, he's been left alone for quite a while, so this feels like it was inevitable. And Kazu finally takes him down.
Yeah, he dies in the end.
That's
but
their first kill of the game.
Yeah, he lived for so long as well before they finally bring him down. They are getting some tower damage now, though. And again on mid.
Abed has the Meteor Hammer. Yeah, Ponlo. Looks like he's going to take his second death in a very quick... Oh, maybe not. Nice glimpse. Abed.
Look at Jerax.
Out of arm's reach.
Jerax is stealing as well.
Oh yeah, very annoying. He's been playing a lot better as well. I should mention that. Like we talked about the transition from, it's not just from 4 to 5, which some people underrate how much. I mean, he's played 4 for basically his whole career, but then also taking a year off of Dota, that had to take some time to get back in the groove as well.
Yeah, for certain. I mean, he played at the very top. He's, you know, arguably one of the biggest GOATs in Dota, right? Like, his achievements are not something you can bash. But of course, it takes time to get back into the group when you haven't played serious.
It was 2 years, wasn't it? It wasn't just 1 year.
I mean, he played a little bit here and there.
Maybe.
He streamed for a while as well.
I know he played on his tablet with the pen.
He played Valorant
at some point on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that doesn't really help the pro skills at all, but
I think it's healthy, though. I mean, if you achieved what Jarex did, I think it's healthy to take some time off to, you know, enjoy life a little bit. But I think he's a very competitive person. I used to live with Jarex for over a year. He's a very competitive guy. So I knew he was going to come back sooner or later.
Yeah. Anytime a pro player that has had a lot of success says they're retiring, you take it with a grain of salt, usually.
Yeah, it's a long vacation is what it is.
Yeah, he did take off a lot more time than I thought he would. I thought it would be like a 1 month thing, but it ended up being a lot more.
We have seen that too from other players.
Indeed, many a time. Many Redditors. I'm quitting this game. A week later, you see them just pubbing to their heart's content. So, net worth-wise, very even game, but kill-wise, not so much. So I would assume the XP is in the advantage of EG. Would you say that the pace of the game is in EG's favor right now, or does Quincy Crew feel okay about this?
Yeah, the pace is in their favor. They are looking to smash down the mid tower with the meme hammer, and I'm not sure. It's probably Night Stalker's responsibility here to stop it, but it's difficult.
And see the Astral Imprisonment here as Kezu goes out of the high ground. Jarex is in the vicinity. He's going to get the Nightmare off. And Jarex looking to deny the rune. Will be successful. Might cost him his life. We'll see. And you can see Kezu pops the ult just to ensure that they're able to take out that Bane. Let's see if they can get more out of this.
Yeah, not the biggest kill to get. Looks like Kezu is just going to swoop around, get a little bounty rune snag. But this is not a big value ulti.
As we see the meme hammer again, but a nice sleight of fist dodging that as Arteezy has made his transition. So basically all of EG are in the mid lane. Snowball onto Quinn. He gets off the Remnant, but the Series Eclipse is enough. And it looks like they might find another on the back end of this. Although Milan, yeah, it looks like he is mega dead. And the tier 1 tower will likely fall as well as EG just... They look so much different than originally.
Dude, EG showed
the
up.
first few series they played.
Look at them just activating all 5 heroes. They recognized that the Night Stalker ulti was used, so now it's daytime, meaning that Night Stalker is basically useless. So they invade, they steal Ancients, they take mid tower. They're getting so much done. Oh my god, that was
keep in mind, in terms of the standings, like, we should mention that Quincy Crew isn't playing for that much compared to what EG is. And if there is some sort of like tournament or whatever that replaces the major and they end up these standings actually mattering, this game could be valuable information for Quincy Crew because, you know, EG are like super try-harding right now.
Exactly.
You can learn a lot.
Yeah, EG have to show everything they can here, whereas Quincy can take it a bit easier. Of course, being undefeated at this point, 6-0.
Yeah, you'd think they want to try to preserve that. And I mean, despite what it feels like an EG momentum being on their side, the net worth is still relatively even. As Quinn gets Astral, Meteor Hammer to follow. Another sleight of fist dodge, though.
It's difficult to time.
Ooh, that was close.
Difficult to time so perfect that you can't even get sleight of fist out. Like, that has to be really frame perfect.
Yeah, Quinn has the Orb of Corrosion working on a Maelstrom next. Looks like Abed will be going for the Agnum Scepter now that the Meteor Hammer is done, so the double Astral Annoyance will continue. I'm trying to think of the most annoying spells in the game, and it's got to be top 5 Astral.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of them. I think Tinker Laser as a mid player, I would, but it's basically just, you know, doing the same thing. It's about not allowing you to play for a bit. It's the frustration.
Well, MSS is going to find Ponlo, but he's going to get glimpsed to safety here. And we'll see what Quincy Crew can do. Now that they have, I mean, the towers are technically even, but the fact that the mid tower, oh, I'm sorry, the bottom tower is taken out as well by EG, so I guess EG do have the advantage in buildings.
Yeah.
But the fact that the net worth is even and they have one more tower, I mean, that means Quincy Crew are doing a really good job of not allowing this to snowball
And that's
in EG's favor right now.
That's with the fact that EG stole a massive stack from Quincy's Ancients. So if they didn't do that, Quincy would be ahead by now. So they're being very efficient. They're farming really well. And they're now moving bottom, looking for a gank with this Disruptor ulti. Wraith King is difficult.
Yeah, it's funny because the previous iteration of EG, it felt like even if they lost their lanes or it looked like they were losing, they would still be in the game or even have the lead net worth-wise, just because their farming patterns were just so much crisper than everybody else. But you can see NA region has definitely closed the gap here as the smoke gank was.
They ran into each other and then just immediately ran away, both of them, because they were scared. Smoke broke for both teams at the same time.
Yep, Arteezy, he's going to see Pawn low, and he's going to two-shot him potentially. No, might take 3, but the glimpse keeps him safe. Crit is in the vicinity, and it looks like with the skeletons continue to chase, although the meme hammer is used in the meantime on Kezu, so they're going to find 2 instead of 1.
Yeah, getting themselves a nice little double there. Of course, Kezu is working on a first item BKB, and I can only agree. If you're Night Stalker in this game, you cannot allow yourself to just be imprisoned and controlled. You pretty much have to get BKBs super early when you play against a core or like an OD going for the spell damage build instead of right click.
Right. And Yawar just really wants to farm his jungle. It's not like any big stacks to work with, but Jarex is still going to be here to be a general annoyance. Well, they might be able to catch up. The slow was there from Yawar, the nice trap setup, but Bane can kind of be an annoying here. Although there's the glimpse back, so the nice Astral will save.
So many answers, you know. There's little cute plays over each other here, but he gets shooed away from the triangle, and they're gonna farm it at least. He didn't get to stop that.
All right, it's been a few minutes. Waga, we can talk about TA again. Is going for Deso, obviously, has the Dragon Lance already. This is kind of a cookie cutter build. Like, I would assume Blink or BKB afterwards.
Oh my god,
you like to see?
That is the darkness he's sitting in there.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going for what I would call indeed the cookie cutter build. Dragonlance's first item is so good for safe lane TA, and straight into Desolator allows him to actually bring down heroes like Viper. This is where I say Viper could be a laning stage counter, but later on TA can kill Viper really fast. But same for her. She doesn't really come online until that BKB is up for her as well. So Quincy's timing is not that close yet. They need to split the game and keep having some item progression.
So what after Des? Like, we talked about Aghanim Scepter, that people haven't been building it after the nerfs. Is like, what makes it an Ags game for TA, would you say?
Aghanim's, it can be a few different things. Either you're owning so much that you want to win more. It's a great win more item. Or you're completely unable to take any fights and you want to split the enemies so they cannot reach your high ground. Those are the 2 big conditions for it.
So basically it needs to be a stomp one way or the other.
Yes.
Anything in between, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, late game it's great in any single scenario, but those are the 2 times that you would buy it earlier for TA. Buy it maybe as a second item or third item even. But here, I think he has to get ready for the 5v5 engagement, and that's going to be Black King Bar, just, you know, probably all around. Even Ember has a BKB queued up. That's when you know it's a BKB game.
Yeah.
Ember does not want to buy that normally too early.
Yeah, it feels kind of bad for sure. As Ponlo in the bot lane, we can see Arteezy's item progression. He's going for the cookie cutter build for Wraith, which is the armlet into Deso. Looks like that is being delivered right now, in fact.
And he has the Blink Dagger in the quick buy as well, so I like the aggressive choice there. They already have Blink on OD as well, so they're trying to get to a point where they can catch whoever they want to go on.
Right. Yeah, I would assume BKB after that, so no huge surprises with itemization on the 2 position ones. As Kezu, I think he might have his BKB being delivered right now. His crit doesn't get silenced in time, gets off the snowball, but they should have enough slow and CC to ensure they find the skill, and they do. A nice pick off here for Quincy crew.
Yeah, nice little kill. He was getting a bit frisky there, going into territory controlled by Quincy, and of course the night vision from Night Stalker makes it difficult to hide.
And MSS has Boots of Travel, Spirit Vessel, has plate mail queued up right now, so I'll have to see what he turns that into. Is this an AC game or a Shiva's game, or?
I think it's pretty good Assault Cuirass here, I would say. Looks really solid. Oh, it's all about armor, look from both teams. That's why you already have Desolator on both +1s. That means Assault Cuirass is even more valuable too.
And you can tell Quincy Crew being a little bit passive here, but because the score is deceiving. Not that this is a huge lead by any means, 9-3, but not that many kills to speak of. As Jerax is going to tank this gank, it looks like it's going to require the usage of Dark Ascension, so I guess he'll be happy with that trade if nobody else is lost. But still, very even game, despite what the score shows.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the build that Viper is going for, by the way. The travels, glimpse away on Wraith King.
Oh, yeah.
I think the
He's
travels...
getting pretty close to Blink as well.
Yeah. This travels might be a bit too greedy. I would have loved to see an Atos and just owning the game right now.
Yeah, Atos for Ember would have been pretty valuable. He's going for BKB. Static Storm placed to try to save Quinn here, but he's going to get stun locked. My goodness. So very big kill for EG. It's felt like forever since we've seen more than 2 heroes in the same spot. As Crit going to the high ground. Yawara's in the vicinity. Not sure if they want to fight without their Ember Spirit, but he could kill Crit pretty quickly. But Jerax with the Fiend's Grip, and the rest of EG are on the way. Abed gets the Astral off.
Nice.
Meteor Hammer to follow. And can they queue up? No, Milan actually ulted out without tethering?
No, he couldn't tether because of the Astral Imprisonment. So that's why I was saying nice. He prevents it on Odie. A really good counter to the Wisp save.
Yeah.
XD.
Yeah, well played from Abed then. As Abed is now in the mid lane, going for another Meteor Hammer combo. And this one been a little bit easier on Ponlo.
Wow, this Abed Odie is working overtime. He's just finding stuff left, right, and center.
Yeah, and this is going to open up the Roche pit as we see the replay here.
Yeah, so Wisp just...
Yeah, man, that was... Did they have vision of Io, or did they just hear the relocate, maybe?
Yeah, you can see the relocate going off, and they probably just predicted that that's what's going to happen. Because he was tethered at first, and then he broke the tether on Wisp, so that means he's hiding while he's trying to channel the ulti.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, that gives the Aegis to... I mean, I know how much you hate... I mean, we both hate the Aegis on Wraith King in general.
Right?
But it's not the most typical mid-hero. Like, it's not a mobility mid-hero that might put himself in the bad spot with Abed. What do you think, though?
I guess Abed is... he's thick enough that he might be fine here. He's got so much HP with the Pupil's Gift, and the Aghanim's almost completed now as well. So maybe it doesn't really matter, but I would have liked to see Aegis on him more so than Wraith King. I can't imagine too many scenarios where Wraith King wants to have this more than Odie.
Right. Well, EG are going to smoke up. And still only a 3k net worth lead. This is not massive at all. Ponlo going to tank the gank here. He is mega dead. But I think that's still for the benefit of Quincy Crew, if nothing else. I mean, EG are not farming right now.
It's the best hero
Milan
to
trying
lose.
To push out top lane. RTZ wants to look for more. Has the Blink Dagger, Deso Armlet. And the tier 1 tower looks to be their focus now. And Quincy Crew are in a decent spot to potentially fight here. They, again, don't have Disruptor for another 10 seconds. Dark Ascension's pop. They're going to focus on Jerax to start. This is going to be a freebie for Quincy Crew. Feels like every time Dark Ascension goes off, Jerax dies. That's what it feels like.
That's the life of Bane.
Oh, Arteezy jumps deep, and he's going to destroy the Io. So Milan with no buyback to speak of. And Abed gets the Astral out, but Kezu pops the BKB, so no Meteor Hammer combo this time. But that did require a buyback onto Jerax.
Yeah, and you can see the confidence, though, that Wraith King is playing with when he has this Aegis. He knows that he's got those 2 extra lives, so his blinks are very aggressive. And I suppose that's what you enable when you have this Aegis for the 3rd life. It's your insurance policy that Wraith King can be the one to go first, and he has to worry about nothing at all.
And Abed getting ever so close to that Aghanim Scepter. It's about 600 away now, as the tier 2 tower is going to fall. Now, usually the first Aegis is not a high ground Aegis. And we're looking at the net worth, and it's not that big of a lead for EG, but Now, players don't know what the net worth discrepancy is, and the 15-5 doesn't look good, obviously, for Quincy Crew. Like, if you're Quincy Crew here, do you feel like you're behind by a massive amount?
They probably don't feel massively behind. They know that they're not in a good spot right now because they don't have access to either of the triangles. That's the bigger thing. Players, though, have a really good read for like how close the game is. And I think the big question now is how can they secure a triangle to keep farming? Because if you don't, that's how that net worth discrepancy becomes bigger.
And Arteezy jumping onto your war. There's Milan with the heals and the relocate.
That was close.
So it looks like this might be the sacrifice for Milan. Yeah, they ripped through that refraction pretty freaking fast. And Milan almost certainly dies here. Do you know if the TP trick still works for IO, or did they get rid of that?
I believe they got rid of it because I don't see any Wisp spammers try it anymore. And I tried it in a demo like over a year ago, and I couldn't do it a single time. So I think they got rid of it without mentioning, like quite a while back.
Typical.
Yeah, shadow patches.
Bonlo, static storm into the TP. It'll be fine.
His safe space, put down the static storm. You can't stop me here.
So for Quincy Crew, what do you think the power spike is to where they can start fighting?
They got a pretty good power spike right now. They just need to group up and play on it. They have the Aghanims for Ember completed just now. You've got your BKB on TA as well, of course. I think maybe you want a Blink Dagger on Night Stalker as well, which I think should be his next item. Yeah, he queues it up right now.
Now Arteezy blinks in onto Yawar. Ice Shard's going to keep him stuck in place as well as Milan, trying to get as much regen as possible to Yawar. He pops the BKB, trying to stand his ground. I don't know how much longer he's going to last. He is dead for 50 seconds. Sandy's Eclipse is Quinn, trying to control them. Gets off the Remnant, but there's the Astral Imprisonment. Does he have a Sleight of Fist? He does. Nice dodge. Another Remnant. This is where the Aghanim Scepter comes into play. But I think he's out of Remnants now. He might be dead as a result. Whoa.
The relocate.
Okay. There's a relocate.
Yeah.
So it wasn't up for Yawar.
Yeah. He had cooldown at the start of the fight, so he couldn't save Yawar. Yawar just a little bit too far out there at the start. Wisp gonna go down here, I think. Maybe Pain does?
I mean, you have to be careful if you're EG here. I mean, he only has one Remnant, so I guess they're keeping track here. The Aegis has been consumed now, so not the greatest usage.
Imagine if he had the Aghanim Shard there as well on Ember, because he has it queued up right now. If he had the Shard already, he could Remnant in, get the kill on Bane, and then Remnant out again, getting the extra charge when you kill someone.
Yeah, it is a kind of a cool Shard for sure. So I mean, depending on if you get the, is it required that you get the kill, or you're just in the area of kills?
You just have to be there when they die. If you're within 400 range, so it's quite fantastic for Ember, since he very easily can be, you know, next to heroes when they die. He's so mobile, and you know, if you Sleight of Fist someone, you're there because your hero gets brought with you when you Sleight of Fist. Like, it fits the hero perfectly, I think.
Yeah, like you said, he has that queued up right now. And for EG, they continue to build, excuse me, on this lead. 6K net worth lead. So ever so slowly. I mean, against any other opponent, it feels like this would be like a 12K lead already, honestly. So you have to give credit to Quincy Crew for standing their ground here. But EG do have decent control of this game now. So much map control overall.
They do. The map control is really big, but they're always being tenacious here. They're trying to get out on the map. You have the mobility of Ember and Wisp TA. So just gonna try and go to bottom lane, shove a bit, but all of EG reacting.
Yeah, well, Jerax, he's gonna get brought down very quickly. My goodness. It looks like EG wanted to set something up, but they seem to be the prey in this scenario as Quinn. Not wanting to go high ground in their own jungle yet, but there goes Kezu with that newly picked up Blink Dagger. Astral Imprisonment from Abed. But here come the Remnants from Quinn. They're able to take out the Disruptor first, but MSS is just getting chased by Kezu. Both have popped BKB. Looking like he wants to switch targets now as Crit looks to be next on his list. In the meantime, Arteezy continuing on to Yawar, but the region is just too much control. That's going to be the first life. MSS coming back with a sliver of HP. Arteezy finally pops the BKB, but now he's on the run, attempting to TP out. Will he be successful? It looks like he will. MSS, though, likely will get chased down here as a relocate onto... All right, they're actually going to go for Abed, who's actually been stuck here. Milan, with that newly picked up shard. Sandy's Eclipse deletes Kezu from the map, but they still find the value kill on Abed.
And that TP
somehow,
out.
MSS lives.
Yeah, he was in the auto attack animation there, trying to bring him down on Ember, and he did not attack fast enough. One of those rare scenarios where you want to have more attack speed on an Ember, but in the end, that fight was amazing by Quincy. I mean, they played it really well. And even though Arteezy got the insta-kill on Disruptor by blinking in and bringing down Disruptor so there was no static field, still, Quincy made the fight work.
And when Arteezy's ult is now back up again, so he can get very aggressive, and Ponlo is usually the receiving end of all these right clicks from Arteezy. As Quinn, he's going to be shown here as well. Crit jumps in. They're trying to perma-stun him. It's going to be close. The heal's coming out, but it's not going to be enough. They lose their Ember Spear, and it looks like Io is next. So EG kind of making some revenge kills here come to fruition after losing Abed earlier.
That's my favorite cam so far, I think. Very nice. The what is that? The ceiling cam by Arteezy? Sweet.
That seems to be a common trend from Dota 2 players recently. Is Jerax is going to get the Fiend's Grip off, but Kezu jumps in with that crippling fear and deletion from Kezu and Yawar. Does require a BKB.
It looks nice to be a +5 in this game, right? You just get jumped by either TA or Wraith King and you get deleted in one hit.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse.
It is. Ponlo is having such a rough game.
is going to be next for TA, so that's going to hurt. And Arteezy is about 1,000 from finishing AC. So what did the plate mail? Did he end up buying plate mail? He did on Viper. So it will be Shiva's instead.
Yeah, he went for plate mail and then he went back for BKB on Viper and now it's the Shivas. So makes sense. Then you have both the AC and Shivas stacking the auras on your team here.
Yeah, it looks like Abed is working on a sheep stick for himself. So that is a very value item for any OD player. As Drax setting up for the next Roche. So de-warding a bit here, has the Aegis and Shard ready to go for Roche. Who would you give the Roche advantage to? Both teams can take him down relatively quick since they both do have Desos.
Oh no, it's all about fighting and Arteezy, he smells blood.
Goodbye, 2-shot. I would assume Swift Blink is going to be next for Arteezy after the AC. So that's going to get even worse.
Yeah, that looks to be the item. He could go for Travels if he wants to go that route as well, but Swift Blink looks great in this game.
And just in the last few minutes, I mean, Quincy Crew brought it back to about a 4 or 5k network deficit, but now it's 9k for EG. Arteezy blinks in again very aggressively. Crit jumps in. Quinn trying to get saved from Milan, but no, it's not to be. And again, Quinn gets bursted down from 100 to 0 in a blink of an eye. Yawar attacking from the low ground, but Arteezy's still fine. So has a second life, has his blink as well. It's going to get canceled thanks to the Thunder Strike. Let's see if they can chase any further. Doesn't look like it.
Arteezy wants more. He's like, kill 3 of them, still not enough, but finally they're going to turn around and go into Roche. Yeah, this Wraith King, Arteezy is playing really, really well on it. He is basically leading his team through every single fight. Cursed.
All right, Arteezy playing very well. Just wants his second life. No big deal. A minute down. They probably didn't even see that either, so.
I think he actually did that on purpose. I'm going to be the one to call it. I think he wanted full mana, full HP.
Possible.
I actually think that was intentional.
And they won't know that you don't have your second life, so it's unlikely that they jump you anyway, so wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, the odds of him getting punished here, I think that was on purpose. He targeted his armlet throughout a team fight just before this. I think he just wanted to, yeah. I mean, he did get slammed perfectly, though.
So here's my question to you. He did take the Shard, which I would say is, especially with no mana burn, kind of a weak Shard upgrade overall, where somebody like MSS, I think MSS's Shard is literally the best on their entire team, but maybe they don't need help with the high ground.
Yeah, MSS Shard looks very good for what they want to do here, pushing high ground and like closing out the game. But I think Arteezy just feels like he deserves it here. You know, he's the one owning, controlling the game. Make him even stronger.
Right.
can't really argue with it.
Typical POS 1 player is what you're saying?
Yes, the entitlement is here.
Yeah, makes sense. Did he go to skeleton talents? Okay, so he didn't even go to skeleton talents. So the shard is actually pretty bad. Like, the mana thing doesn't matter again with the no mana burn, and you get the skeletons on Wraithfire Blast, which with 0 of the talents taken is at best.
I mean, if he dies, then he spawns some skeletons. They can take down refraction charges, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty bad in this game. I definitely think it would be stronger on Tusk or Viper. Tusk shard is not to be underestimated.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Yawar caught out with the Fiend's Grip. Thought he was safe with the blink in the trees, but Jerax with nice maneuvering, who has a blink of his own. That hurts for Quincy Crew.
Yeah, and mid we see a little relocate save there.
And we'll see what they're able to do with this. This might just be another sacrifice for Milan. Oh, he gets glimpsed. Wait,
oh,
what?
Wisp has the
I thought he
shard.
tethered first.
Yeah, Wisp has shard, so he stunned the Wraith King with the tether. Didn't get hit.
Right, fair enough.
I have solid intelligence.
Someone's knocking on their door here.
Yeah, this is more than knocking. Very loud pounding in the ears. Fortifications finally popped, but Arteezy's just going to stand his ground, knowing that TA will have to expend a buyback, which doesn't actually exist right now.
You love to see that glyph when the creeps spawn right after, so you can farm them. That feels good when you're pushing.
Yeah, that's true. They might have to give this up. This is going to be, at the very least, the melee racks in favor of EG. And you can see Abed starting to work on the tier 3 bot. And yeah, with the Aegis, 2 minutes still to go. I don't see the reason for Arteezy and company to even move out here.
Arteezy also, with these creeps, gets enough gold for Swift Blink. He's sending it in now. We have a sneaky smoke by Kester and Ponlo, by the way.
Yeah, this is a very important fight for Quincy because they are now down by a massive amount, 18 net worth deficit. They see the courier coming in potentially. I'm not sure if that's worth the gank if they want to use a surprise tactic on the heroes themselves. But here comes Kezu, gets the Crippling Fear onto Abed with the Static Storm applied as well. This could be pretty big. Into Yawar coming in with Io, but my god, the right clicks are ridiculous. Yawar is the first to die for EG though, as Quincy Crew continuing to chase. Jerax is being seen on the low ground now. Nicely done from Quincy Crew, but can they kill Arteezy? They're going for everybody else first. Ultra kill for Quinn. Arteezy still left alone. And he is not scared. He has 3 lives to work with.
Don't test him. Run away.
1, 2, 3. All right. Creep. Little reset here.
Sorry.
Yeah, the creeps are being pushed out as well, so I don't know how much further Arteezy can actually go, but he's gonna just destroy Quinn. Are you serious?
The invisible
Oh
sun.
my god.
Nice.
And whoever the hell that is, that's Bulba. He's very happy. He was happy enough to actually take a shower this morning, it looks like. My goodness, that's a rare occurrence.
Wow.
It's okay, me and Bulba are good friends.
I like how he was happy enough
Very
to time
close.
travel and take a shower in the morning.
He's still wearing that disgusting hat, though. That thing probably smells terrible. As Arteezy now working on this melee Rax, he's pushed in mid to allow himself to do this. And that looks like the second Rax. I mean, I understand, like, Quincy Crew had to go for everybody else first. They have 0 answers for Arteezy right now.
Yeah. I mean, they did the best they could there. They bursted OD really well. They brought down Viper very quickly. But all this time, Wraith King is smacking. And sooner or later, people are going to start dying, you know. Like, it doesn't take too long. Oof, the cleave.
Yeah, that was a good backstab, though, from Kezu and company. They focused on Abed. They got him right off the bat, so he couldn't cast anything pretty much. But it's when you're down this much, it's really difficult to make that next step into trying to bring back the game.
I like how both Disruptor and Night Stalker there just decide to leave fully. They're like, nah, we're not going to stick around. Suddenly Ember is alone there.
All right, Astral Imprisonment. Ooh. Abed actually blinks out. So Static Storm, it's like I think it applies a tick later, so Blink has priority. As long as you're blinking in the direction that you're facing, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can blink forwards, you can blink out of it. I don't think you can once the Aghanims is up. I think it actually disables items, like, immediately. Because you can't BKB out of
really?
it. Yeah. Otherwise, you could get BKB out, you know, from Imprison, for instance. But I don't think that's the case. You always get...
Yeah, and sadly for Quincy, Grupanlo is only halfway to Ags, and they might just lose the game outright before then. Arteezy blinks in again. Milan, 3-shot. That's the basher being shown now. It has buyback, though. So they can make a potential last stand here. The kick onto Yawar. He is gripped as well. That is a yikes. And they're going to try to salvage this as much as possible. No buyback for TA. It will be difficult to fight back, but they do find Abed. A very value kill for Quincy Crew. It's going to cost 2 buybacks on their supports. As Milan hooked up with Kezu now, as Quinn is just getting chased by MSS. Snowball connects onto Milan. And it looks like they're just going to transition out.
That was a perfect
Arteezy
kidnapping right there.
Has 2 lives.
Yeah. I mean, they kicked him into the OD Hex on TA, so there was no way he was going to stay alive there. Perfect chain stun.
Anytime a hero like Tusk can get a Blink Dagger, crazy things can happen. Is now EG knocking on the high ground. Arteezy is going to get actually stunned by the tether. Pops the BKB, and that is a dieback now into Io, and this should be GG for game number 1 as EG look extremely strong against the undefeated Quincy Crew.
Yeah, wow. That is, we see there the ceiling.
Yeah. Where's Bulba? Make your appearance again. Please.
We get Arteezy's hair. Beautiful. What a performance.
There we go.
As he farmed that game, 21 kills. That was basically